pushes way up the racetrack, and now here comes Janzik. Janzik goes by Query, and he goes by Inman. Burnell gets a great run, another 3 wide for the race lead. It's going to drag race off of turn 4. Shepard is there, but it's Larry White at the line. Still going to be Pat Ward, and they make contact. Britton has broken the race car. AJ Slideways. Alan Johnson wins.
Whether you hug the infield tires or rip the cushion, you found the fastest dirt track podcast in motorsports. Welcome to Where Legends Are Made, the official podcast of Land of Legends Raceway. Here's Stephen and Brad Ovens.
That's right, we're back. Season 4 of Where Legends Are Made, the official podcast of the Land of Legends Raceway. I am the voice of the Land of Legends, Steve Ovens, joining you here to start season number 4 of the podcast. Happy to have you aboard. We've got double features on tap for this podcast. Very, very excited about that. Paul Cole going to be stopping by, as well as Tana Robinson, to be talking about one of the bigger announcements that our track has made in quite some time. And really, two big announcements. One that, we didn't exactly plan, but it certainly was an incredible appetizer to the main course on Monday morning that was announced as Land of Legends TV will be simulcast on DIRTVision for 2023 as well as 2024, and we're very, very happy to be a part of the DIRTVision family, as World Racing Group CEO Brian Carter spoke to, and we'll try to get contact with Brian and kind of bring him in a future episode here to kind of talk about DIRTVision, how it's changed, and how adding the Land of Legends is a big deal for their platform as well as for our track, and that's kind of what I wanted to start with on the podcast for this episode is bring in Paul, bring in Tana to really talk about the huge impact that going to DIRTVision is going to have for our track, for our racers, for our fans, and for our sponsors. You can't forget all of the marketing partners that make all of this happen, whether it's on the track side or for these drivers to get their cars to the racetrack and put on the show that they do each and every week. This announcement is big. So let's cover some of the finer points before Paul Cole stops in here to kind of give his viewpoints on this announcement. The big thing that I've seen as questions coming this week is do we have to have a DIRTVision subscription to watch Land of Legends Raceway now? And the answer to that is no. We're going to continue providing our live stream for free on Land of Legends TV. We're not changing that model. What we are doing, though, is we're going to be simulcasting on DIRTVision. And you may be saying, well, what does that mean? Basically, DIRTVision is going to carry our video feed on DIRTVision. And this is where this partnership becomes a big deal. Is DIRTVision is really, they're not just taking the video feed and throwing it up on DIRTVision. They're really putting some investment behind this announcement and behind this partnership. DIRTVision is going to have their graphics over top of the video that we provide. There's already conversations taking place between the DIRTVision side and the Land of Legends production side of how that's going to look. And there's a lot of coordination that's going to have to take place that, fans, when they show up to the racetrack, they may not realize and very likely will not see. What you're going to see at the racetrack will be no different. What you will see on Land of Legends TV on our free platform will be no different. We're going to continue to do business as we have. We have really kind of created a recipe that we feel is successful, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Where the DIRTVision side really comes into play is, their subscribers, and their subscribers are not just in the Northeast. They're all over the country, and they're all over the world. I mean, we say it because, we can see all of the details behind the scenes on our platform. We have folks that are tuning in from all over the world. When we say worldwide, we don't just say that just to, for dramatic effect. We truly have viewers that are watching all over the world, and not just a few, many are watching our broadcast. But DIRTVision takes it to a whole new level. You think about all of the racing that's on DIRTVision that we watch during our quote unquote off season. Things like the viewers that tune in to watch all the racing in Australia. Fans of just World of Outlaw sprint cars, or maybe just fans of the World of Outlaw late models. All of these fans that have subscriptions to DIRTVision, they're going to have exposure to Land of Legends Raceway and to weekly big block modified racing. And we're already seeing, we made this announcement on Monday. I'm recording this on Wednesday morning. I spoke with Tana and Paul earlier this week when we made the announcement, but here sitting on Wednesday morning, we're already seeing the impact of this announcement with DIRTVision. We have been featured on DIRTVision for the last 2 nights in a row on their broadcast of Dirt Car Nationals. And those 2 broadcasts had nothing to do with big block modifieds. They were the midgets where USAC was competing, as well as late models, World of Outlaw late models. So it doesn't even, that's the thing is, this is not just, this isn't, just going to get exposure, when the Super Dirt Car Series is running. I mean, we're already starting to see, and as, somebody that oversees the social media side of things, I can tell you both on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our YouTube channel is growing subscribers as well. People that have now been turned to, there's some people that have never heard of Land of Legends Raceway who are now liking the Twitter, or following the Twitter page, liking the Facebook page, subscribing on YouTube, which, by the way, if you're a listener of this podcast and you haven't subscribed to Land of Legends Raceway on YouTube, you need to do so. All of our highlight packages, basically everything that we produce as video packages, our sponsor announcements, all of that, anything that we produce video wise that goes on Facebook and gets posted to Twitter is on that YouTube page. So there's always easy access to that. If you want to share a link to your sponsors, to your family, friends, maybe you got featured in a highlight package or races that you've won. Subscribe to that page, and you have access to all of the things, all of the different things that we produce, the one-on-one interviews, the 5 questions with drivers in the pit area, all of that is on our YouTube page. But I say that to, just to point out, it's only been 48 hours and we are already seeing, the impact of this partnership, and we haven't even turned a lap. We haven't even broadcast a single second of anything on DIRTVision yet. So this is a huge, it really is a huge deal. And I've seen some fans who are subscribers of Land of Legends TV, or they're, fans that come to the racetrack, which, this is all geared toward. This is, as Brian Carter put it perfectly, this is a huge awareness campaign. We want people to come to the racetrack, and everybody, not everybody, I don't want to say it that way, but so many people who, maybe are not real believers of live streaming video, and certainly not believers of giving that video away for free, have said countless times, Paul Cole is crazy. He's giving it away for free. That is hurting the sport. That can't be good for racing. Well, for not being good for racing, sponsorship has gone through the roof, which supports the track. It supports the drivers. Each division in the last 2 to 3 years that we've seen the sponsorship start to really ramp up, there hasn't been a division that hasn't had some kind of increase in purse. And that's how this whole thing is going to work. The more exposure our track, our drivers, our fans, our sponsors get through the live streaming video, through our social media campaigns, through DIRTVision, the more that this continues to increase, and that's not even to talk about the, ticket sales. Ticket sales have been up for the last 2 years that we have been giving the video away for free. So, for those that say, streaming is hurting and killing racing, you really got to look at another avenue, because Land of Legends Raceway is the perfect example of how live streaming is not killing racing. It's improving racing. It's improving purses. It's improving ticket sales. It's improving just the general buzz of motorsports in New York State and in the Northeast. And there's a lot of, folks that have now tuned in. We've got drivers, specifically, I'm thinking of examples in our 305 sprints and in our big block modifieds. They've got fans all over the country that are tuning in. It's unbelievable the reach that this live streaming video has done, and DIRTVision is only going to take it up another notch. So, this is a really, really big week. The grandstand update. We knew that the Ontario, and this is the other piece that Paul will get into, but the grandstands as they currently sat at the last race of the season in 2022, those are the main section between the tower and the concession stand. That's now down and headed on its way to the Pageant of Steam grounds, not far away. You'll probably throw a tennis ball and hit the Pageant of Steam grounds where those grandstands are headed. The new grandstands are coming in. Paul's going to give us kind of a behind the scenes look at the whole process, not just the announcement of grandstands this week. Paul's going to kind of cover everything that's taken place here to get this project lifted off, because it truly has been almost now a 3-year process to get these grandstands going. So he's going to tell us more about that coming up, and his interview is next. So let's not waste any more time. We'll get right to Paul Cole talking about Land of Legends Raceway, our announcement with DIRTVision, and the new grandstands coming in. We'll be right back here. We're going to take about a 60-second break. We'll be right back here on Where Legends Are Made, the official podcast of the Land of Legends Raceway.
By the grace of God and 800 horsepower, it's time for the A-Main interview of the week.
Well, race fans, we're back. Welcome to the first episode of 2023 here for Where Legends Are Made. Your host right here with you, Steve Ovens, voice of the Land of Legends Raceway. Happy to be with you. Happy to be back here for our first episode of 2023. But we're diving right into our first of our double features for this episode, our first A-Main interview of the week. We're going to bring in Paul Cole, who it's been a huge week for the Land of Legends Raceway. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that we're now a part of the DIRTVision family for video streaming going forward. And Paul, there's a lot of fans that that they have, so maybe not have questions, but there's a lot of fans out there that, may be wondering, why we did this, how this process got started. And also, is it going to mean any changes for how they already have been watching the Land of Legends Raceway on video streaming? So I'm not sure which one we want to start with, Paul. Maybe we can start with, kind of how this all got started. Because Land of Legends TV has been a very successful entity for as long as you've had it up and running. But I think maybe some fans wonder how did this all happen, and why did this happen?
Well, Land of Legends TV has already exceeded my expectations. The original thing was to make access for people that can't come to the racetrack to be able to watch racing and build more fans. And we've already started to do that. We've got 2 good solid years of free TV, and those numbers just continue to grow. Our audience online and our audience in person continues to grow. And so that part's already shown its success. And advertisers are falling behind that, which now, that only leads us to having to figure out how to raise the bar higher. We actually kind of started this discussion almost before the 2022 season. DIRTVision's looking for a place to, show big blocks. Yes, they show Super Dirt Series every time it comes up, but that's only 16, 18, 20 times a year. And in order to expose big blocks all the more, they needed places to show the big blocks. But they didn't want to just do that. They wanted to do it well. And I approached them, Brian Carter and the DIRTVision team back in November, and we started a conversation about what we could do to bring our platform to DIRTVision. And it's an equal partnership on this, with an effort to expose big blocks for World Racing Group and the dirt model, and at the same time expose our racers up and down the coast and across the country. And we benefit in Canandaigua, the Land of Legends, by exposing our track, and not only the big blocks, but the other underclasses as well, and a lot of those up and coming drivers. Arguably we have one of the best sportsman classes in the Northeast as well, and those are going to be the stars that are coming along behind.
We've seen, what the initial reaction has been to all of this. It's been certainly a lot of excitement, and two, and that's kind of some of what I wanted to cover, in this podcast episode this week. Kind of recapping our big announcement on Monday morning. But there's a lot of different levels to this, and Paul, you in speeches past at banquets and in public interviews and such, you really talk about those three legs of the bar stool: the racers, the sponsors, the fans. And this announcement with DIRTVision and simulcasting with them, as well as still streaming on the Land of Legends TV platform, this announcement, it covers all three of those phases. Everybody wins out of this. And I think whether you're a racer, a sponsor, or a fan, you may not see the other two legs of that bar stool that you like to talk about. So maybe we can kind of address those three and how this changes things for all three of those legs of the bar stool that make the track a success.
Well, it's one of the things I recognized as I came the opportunity to start promoting Canandaigua, is that a lot of tracks were suffering and floundering, and I had to sit back and examine as to what the reason is, why. It isn't because there's not good racers. It isn't because there's not good tracks. It isn't because the fans aren't dedicated. But somewhere along the way, each one of the tracks I looked at, and a lot of the programs I looked at, were missing one of those legs. And racers can get out and race anywhere. They can drive up and down the thruway, put $500 in each, and race from one exit to the other. That's not necessarily safe. And once they get up there, the other end, their money's gone, and they don't have the opportunity to recoup much unless they win. People can get hurt, and then really nobody watched it. So if nobody watched it, it means nobody advertised it. Nobody helped build that purse with advertising dollars. That's where racetracks were really founded, more than 70, 80, 100 years ago. The idea was to be able to build a purse, put some fans in front of it, and then in order to pay that purse, help supplement that by the advertising. If we don't have fans, advertisers can't make any money. And without advertisers, you can't put more money in the purse. Without more money in the purse, the cost of racing gets more expensive, and the return becomes less and less. And I think that's where I saw things going through the 2010s, 2000s and 2010s, is there was a lot of money not coming back to the sport from advertising. And I decided right off the get-go that we were going to focus on advertising, and the fans will follow. And the opportunity to show the drivers that both those things are there. We learned during COVID, it's no fun to race in front of nobody. Those stands empty. That was, the drivers still raced good and made decent money, but it was no fun to race in front of no fans. So that was another place you found a weakness in the model. So it's been a long-term process to shake things up and get things back on track. So we had to focus on all three things: better drivers, better purses, better advertising, better fans. All those things have to work together. And if they don't work together, really we're shooting ourselves in the foot. So we took some flyers. We started out, I raised the purses up as much as I could without impacting the gates as much as possible. Then we went out and we add the entertainment value to this. We started right out with the Jumbotron. People looked at me when I first showed up and I had a $70,000 jumbotron put in the infield. Well, why would you do that? What's that got to do with racing? In this day and age, fans want to be entertained. They want to spend, make good money for their advertising and or for their entertainment night out. When you can look at most things on your phone and not have to go someplace, it makes it difficult to reach into their entertainment pockets and keep them coming back. That's why we've added the app. That's why we added a lot of other things to entertain the fans. And a lot of what Land Legends TV does is aimed at entertaining the fans, not just showing the racing. We're highlighting our sponsors. We're highlighting the good feel stories. We're highlighting the history of racing, and of course the racing, which is what the common thread is.
Absolutely. When we're talking about the streaming, the announcement here being on DIRTVision, I think it's important to remind the fans that Land of Legends TV will continue to be free. That is going to stay consistent. Essentially we're simulcasting now on DIRTVision so that all of the tens of thousands of subscribers to DIRTVision will have access to be able to watch our video as well as part of that subscription that they have. So, for our fans that have been watching Land of Legends TV for the past several seasons, nothing is going to change there. But on the streaming topic, we're doing all of this trying to maximize exposure. That's really been a key piece of our marketing video the last couple of years, is maximizing exposure. But when it comes to video streaming, Paul, does it make you angry? Does it make you laugh? Or do you have no reaction to the age-old streaming is killing racing? Knowing, where we are at Land of Legends with streaming, what is your take on that now, and has it changed?
Well, I've always been a good student of history. And, you can look at a lot of industries and see that what always worked and what worked for many years doesn't work anymore. So I kind of laugh, but it's hard to get away from what people know. Kodak used to have the best film on the face of the planet, and everybody had a Kodak camera. Right now, you'd be hard pressed to go to a store to find a Kodak camera, even a digital one. And yes, things change, things evolve, time moves on, and it's hard to get away from what people know. But once you make that turn, you stop and say, how do we ever go back to it? There's kids that are standing in the stands now that don't know what it's like not to have a cell phone. There's people that have no clue what it's like not to have the internet. It wasn't all that long ago that those things didn't exist. And unfortunately, the racing industry hasn't caught up with the times, where they have to focus on what are we doing for the future. And that's what needs to evolve. We need to evolve the entertainment portion of the evening. And when that happens, racing will continue to thrive. And that's been the hard part. There's a lot of people that have been around a long time that's focused on the racing part and forgot about the fans or forgot about the advertisers. And then they wonder why they're struggling. And then they have to put more focus on being even better with their racers. And at a certain point in time, it's going to implode on itself.
You gave a very, we clipped it and put it on Facebook and YouTube. You had a very, about a 6-minute part of your State of the Raceway speech at the banquet, talking about streaming and the impact. And one of your quotes that I think of so much, trying to help out drivers in the ways that I try to help them out. I don't want you to miss the boat on this. I'm curious, and I think some of our fans would be curious, that was such an integral part of your speech at the banquet. I'm just curious, how have you had a lot of drivers asking more questions, asking for feedback, advice, since because it seemed like it really set in with, I don't know if I would say a majority, but it seems like it's the message you sent at the banquet is setting into more and more folks that are patrons of our track. And it seems like we're starting to see drivers having a shift in focus. Not that sponsorship's never been important, but I feel like your words at the banquet this, a month ago, it seems like it's sinking in more. I'm just curious your thoughts on that as a promoter.
Well, I had to earn their respect and trust over time too. A guy coming in that has been in the racing industry for 30 years, walking in and telling you guys do X, Y, and Z, they're kind of going to laugh and make fun of me, and I'm okay with that. Then, as we started to prove, and the methods I was trying to preach over and over again, because I've been saying these things right along, start to resonate, and we had drivers 2 years ago, a year ago, that have all started to follow along with a successful model of getting more sponsorship and getting bigger names, and part of that was incumbent upon the racetrack to give them the opportunity to expose those advertisers. I can't expect them just to go ask somebody to slap something on the side of their car, go to this track like they did last week, and just mention them a couple times in victory lane, because only one guy gets to victory lane every week. And think that the advertisers are going to be okay with putting more money in that. We had to do everything we can to give our drivers the ability to expose their advertisers. We have all this ammunition available to do that, and they're starting to buy into that. They're starting to understand that when the advertisers coming to them looking for an opportunity to get on their car, that it must be worthwhile. Us going, and again, a lot of people may not realize this, we went to DIRTVision. I went to DIRTVision and said, we would like to do work with you. And that's because we want to give more ammunition to our drivers and to our teams to be able to go out and get bigger and stronger sponsors. The money in racing is not all in the purse. There's a fair amount of money that has to come from people self-financing or getting sponsorships. And, a lot of guys might end up with more money in revenue from their sponsorships than they'll ever make in a purse. And that's the focus of where we're trying to get them to move along. And by able to add this national and worldwide focus with a lot more viewers, those advertisers will get bigger, and there'll be more opportunities for money to come back into the sport. When they come to race with us, and when they get the exposure with us, then our fans will come in, because people still want to see it in person, and our crowds will continue to grow, and our classes will continue to grow. We're one of the few tracks in the Northeast last year that the car counts didn't dip, in the normal summer swoon. We carried our car counts right through the summer, and when all the tides rise, we all do better. The racers, the fans, the advertisers, and the track.
It's been an interesting time since we all gathered at the banquet. Well, we've got the DIRTVision announcement. What's the most common thing that you get asked about? Between all this time that's passed over the last month or so.
It's something a little bit for everybody. We get people that are looking for more opportunities to get exposure, want us to hook them up with drivers. We get advertisers that are beating our door down, looking for space to advertise. And I know that'll expand even more with this announcement. We're busy working on the preparations of the track and the facility for the year. Whether it be the new grandstands that are coming in with the help of the Fair Board. We're working on a VIP tower expansion. We have a new water truck in the offing. We have a new ambulance coming in. Any number of things that are just going to improve the flow of the evening. It's even the simple things. We're picking up a few more pieces of equipment for our Land of Legends TV staff. It takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of preparation. We had the 70th anniversary of Canandaigua. We've got a lot of big promotions and operations that are coming out with that. We're gonna have a T-shirt that's gonna be highlighting the champions of every class. We'll be announcing that in the next couple of weeks. There's a lot that goes on the racetrack, and we do a lot of that in the summertime. In the wintertime before race season gets here.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I actually honestly think I can't wait for race season, because I think we are busier in the off season than we have been during a typical race week. I mean, there's a lot of different things that happen during a race week. But this offseason just seems like it has absolutely flown by because there's been so many good things that have been in the works and happening. One of which you just spoke about. I want to touch on the grandstands. That was a big pop on Sunday. Was the announcement and the pictures that were floating around, and we ended up sharing them on social media as well, that the grandstands are coming down, which means we absolutely 100% have grandstands that are going in. And I know there's some fans that for a couple seasons have been, waiting, and we, at different points thought the project was going to be able to lift off. Help me recap how this whole project has gone down, what caused the delays and what's now prompted the project to, get back on the table here.
Well, to help chronicle a little bit, the fairgrounds is owned by the Ontario County Agricultural Society. It's not owned by a municipality. It's not owned by the county. It's not owned by myself. So the structures there are owned by the Ontario County Agricultural Society, have for, many decades, long before the racetrack was even in place. So racing happens on the Ontario County Fairgrounds. They own the facility. We lease the operation, we lease the buildings, we lease the track, we lease the bathrooms. All those is part of what we do to put on racing and promote events. One of the discussions we had when I first came in is we help them upgrade things like the lights. We help upgrade things in the grandstand or in the towers. We've done a little bit of upgrading in the concession stands. But the grandstands themselves are just plain old, and they were due for an upgrade. And the fair board recognized that with the effort we've been putting in, that it was time for them to be again evolving with the times. And they made an effort to go out and purchase a set of aluminum bleachers that are coming from Homestead. They were ones that were taken down from Homestead racetrack in Florida. This happened and was set to happen in March of 2020, which is a notable time because as the pieces were en route from Florida, they stopped in North Carolina because COVID froze everything. All the borders were shut. Transit was stopped, and of course, along with that went the grant money that the fair board was allocated to purchase the grandstands. So that came to a complete and utter standstill, and took the better part of the last 2 years to get back on track. And so finally, after the change of administrations, went from Como to Hochul, and a whole lot of paperwork and permitting processes. This last week, the green light was given to take down the old ones. They sold them off to the steam pageant in Hopewell, and have got the new ones coming in and should be erected between the end of March and the early part of April, which will replace a large section that goes between the concession area and the officials tower. It doesn't complete all of them, but it's a huge swath that this non-for-profit organization has invested heavily into to improve the facility and the operation of the track.
And I think that's important to note that this is being done in partnership, and they recognize how important the events that the track promotes, and I've even talked to some people about the fact that it's not just about racing either. I know that you and a lot of the staff play a role even during the county fair. I mean, it truly is a good partnership both ways.
Yeah, it's there's the demolition derby that they have. We promoted and put on an enduro for the fair. They have tractor pulls. They have a monster truck demonstration. They have they've been working on bringing back trotters there. They've got other events that they're trying to expand with there, including during the rest of the season. The fairgrounds is a vibrant and busy place all year long, and it's a good partnership for that to happen for them and for us to continue racing in Canandaigua. 70th anniversary is a long time, and it hasn't taken just the promoters; it's also taken a lot of partnership by the property owners.
I asked you this question on the podcast last year at this same time when we recorded and kind of talked about some similar topics, and just seeing how much things have even changed in 1 year, and now with the grandstand project, the DIRTVision announcement. I'm just curious kind of where your thoughts are about the direction of Land of Legends Raceway, and compared to when you got started and what your vision was taking over in 2018.
Ever forward. It's a long ways from where we were, and I think it's a long ways from where we'll be. Ideally, I want to see growth every year. I want to see the ability to add more grandstands over time. I want to be able to, we've already expanded the pits. That we'd like to get to the point where that's required every week. We still do a good job of staying within the time constraints of being done by 11 o'clock. One of the few tracks in the Northeast that has that curfew. So we put it a condensed, solid program that provides entertainment value to the community, brings economic value to the community, gives the racers a great outlet to take care of their throttle therapy, and make a couple bucks along the way so that we can do it again for the next season.
Paul Cole, Land of Legends Raceway promoter, I want you to now talk to the subscriber on DIRTVision who, let's say they're a diehard sprint car fan, and that's why they like to tune in to DIRTVision, or there's something else on the platform. Maybe they're a late model fan. Maybe they're the World of Outlaws sprint fan, or even a midget fan that's catching those events. What is your elevator pitch to that DIRTVision subscriber who's never tuned into the Super Dirt Car Series, or maybe they've only turned in the Super Dirt Car Series and they only know of Land of Legends Raceway from the 2 or 3 stops a year that the series makes at our track? What's your elevator pitch to them to tune in on one of our Saturday night spectaculars?
Our goal is to entertain the fan every time, not just when the big blocks are there, not just with your sprint car fan. Our job is to entertain fans every time. And I'm candid with people. I'll say sometimes the best thing that happened tonight was the fried dough. Sometimes the best thing that happened was the rookie sportsman race. Sometimes there's something unique that happened. But the idea is for us to entertain and give you a good use of your 3-4 hours of watching television or coming to the track. And when that's successful, that's what we're looking for. We're looking to find more people to see the great product that we're already producing. We're already putting it on Land Legends TV. It's available everybody for free. They don't have to reach in their pocket and take a gamble on us. We're using the Costco method. We're grabbing a bag of chips off the shelf, and we're handing you the opportunity to see this. And when you see it, you're gonna be enamored. We're confident you're gonna want to taste more of it, and that you're gonna buy more of it. And a lot of people are gonna start making that trip. They're gonna make that one trip to Canandaigua to visit wine country and tour the region and go to a race they've been watching every week on TV and following their heroes. And it's not only good just for us in Canandaigua, but it's good for those drivers too. I mean, there's drivers that travel all over the Northeast, and we want them to be enamored with them, so that when they leave here, they've got a following at whatever track they go to, whether it's Albany, Saratoga, or Brewerton, or Lebanon Valley, or whatever track they go to. They're going to drag their fans along and help build racing there too. Because when racing does well everywhere, we'll continue to do well in Canandaigua.
Anything else that you want to mention here, Paul? I think we'll probably get together again before we get ready to kick the season off. We've got a big opening night event, a high paying event for the modifieds on opening night, the Scapo special, CRSA dates, the Dirt Car Sportsman Series. There's a lot of things that we'll talk about down the road. But man, we've had an off season's worth of newsworthy items just this week. So I appreciate the time. And is there anything else that you want to leave the fans with?
Steven, I don't think we're done yet. We're going to have some more big things coming before we start racing this year. It's, we're not done. There's a lot more that's going to roll out, and we're going to keep doing that. And not only, like I said, same thing. It raises all tides. Yes, the big blocks are going to have an enormous field this year. They're going to be well paid. There's going to be fans chasing those races and watching those from all across the country and the world. But it also puts those eyes on our street stocks, which I argue is one of the best street stock classes in the Northeast. The 305s, which are the great springboard up to bigger sprints. But what exciting class they put on to show they put in every week. Our hobby stocks, which is an affordable way for people to get involved. We know there's several new cars coming out in that class this year. The sportsman class continues to evolve. Arguably one of the toughest sportsman classes in the Northeast. And of course, big blocks where, if you can win at Canandaigua, you can win anywhere because it's a tough crowd every week. I watched a lot of these guys that have won races all across the country come in here and they leave and feel happy about a 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th because they look at who's in front of them and it's like a series race every week. And when we do that, when we continue to perform for our fans, everybody will be well rewarded.
I think it was Tim McCready that recently said East Bay is a kind of place that'll humble you. I think Land of Legends in a way is kind of that same deal. It can be a big stage and it's certainly a big stage now exposure wise, but it's a tough place. It's a tough crowd, a lot of competition and that place can humble you too. So
well, as a staff, it humbles us every week.
Yeah.
We know it's a difficult business. We don't expect it to be perfect. We expect to do our best and provide the best opportunity for our fans week in and week out. And we're going to have bad weeks, just like racers are going to. We're going to have great weeks, and all in all, we're trying to have good seasons. And we're looking forward to 2023. The 70th anniversary of racing in Canandaigua would be one of our best.
I don't know about you, Paul, but I'm ready. I think we ought to have Tommy call the street stocks down for hot laps.
Yeah, I think it's a little dry out there tonight, and the temperatures tomorrow are going to be in the 60s. So maybe we can get an early show in this year.
All right, appreciate the time as always.
Thanks, Stephen.
All right, there's Paul Cole, Land of Legends Raceway promoter. Thoughts and views on some big announcements this week. We are so excited to get this 2023 campaign started. Speaking of being excited, this news this week was huge in the marketing department, and Tana Robinson, Director of Marketing and Race Day Operations, is going to join us next to share her thoughts, share her excitement, and share opportunities that are available out there for those that want to get involved here in 2023. Stay tuned. We'll have our interview with Tana Robinson coming up next.
By the grace of God and 800 horsepower, it's time for the A-Main interview of the week.
That's right, race fans. We have a double A-Main interview of the week this week, and we're bringing in Tana Robinson, who's coming to us from sunny Florida. I am so jealous, but we're approaching 50 degrees here in New York, but I'm still jealous. And I'm still about 4 weeks away from spending some time in Florida myself. But Tana, give us a check-in. How is the weather in Daytona?
It is absolutely beautiful. I don't mean to rub it in, but I said to somebody yesterday, like, why do we not live here? And okay, right, it's family, of course. That's why we don't live here. But yeah, this is paradise. Or we got some weather coming in potentially later and tomorrow, but that's okay. A rainy day when 70, 80 degrees, I'll take that any day.
Absolutely. Better than the white stuff, that's for sure.
You betcha. You don't have to shovel this.
Yeah. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, Tana. We've made a huge announcement this week that we're going to be simulcast on DIRTVision all season long. And for somebody like yourself that, this is exciting for everybody, but I have to imagine somebody, in the role that you're in at the racetrack, this has got to be pretty exciting because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this changes the conversations that you'll be having with marketing partners in a big, big way.
Absolutely. 100%. The free TV, as we've all discussed multiple times, our reach is phenomenal. The number of people who are viewing our racing, our drivers, our sponsors' ads is more than, and I hate to say this, but it's more than any other short track race around, around us in the Northeast. It's huge. And now that number just exploded. I mean, can we even guess how many it's going to be? I can't fathom it. I really don't know. It's going to be gigantic. And people say, well, you guys were people will say that you're already giving it away. Right. But people who don't even know that we have free TV, people that haven't even people don't even know about Land of Legends. They're going to stumble upon us on DIRTVision. They're going to introduce to the track, to our drivers, to our sponsors, and so on. And it's going to build our fan base. It's going to build our drivers' fan base. It's going to build our sponsors' exposure. It's an awesome, awesome, awesome partnership.
Tana, one of the examples that I'm sitting here thinking of as you and I are talking is, there's a lot of people that have already been watching Land of Legends TV. There's a lot of people that have already been watching DIRTVision. But think about that DIRTVision subscriber who tunes in to watch, their favorite racetrack that's on DIRTVision's platform already. But let's say they rain out and they're surfing DIRTVision and saying, man, there's got to be something I can watch tonight. Maybe the Outlaws are on the West Coast, but I got to find something to watch before they come on with the time zone change. They're going to stumble upon Land of Legends Raceway in Canandaigua, New York, and they're going to see the big blocks, not for a Super Dirt Car Series event, but just a weekly show. Those are the fans that we're going to add into the fold. And I think, and not just here in the US, all over the world. I mean, think about the fan base in Australia that we're now going to bring into you're absolutely right. I don't think any of us have an idea of what kind of number we can put on it right now.
Yeah, and that's for our end, that is the exciting part. That's kind of the selling point, so to speak, is that we're going to be able to build on our fan base, because people are going to just stumble across it. Like you said, their racetrack or their favorite track may get rained out and they're surfing around and they're, looking for something to watch, or even on a non-race night, you're like, what are we going to do tonight? What are we going to watch? You're sitting at home, you go on your DIRTVision, you're just kind of, surfing around and you stumble upon it. And once you watch it once, you and I both know they're coming back.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is such a big deal. When you're talking, marketing with folks, you're talking impressions, you're talking about value, and, the value is just going to go through the roof with some of, the marketing that our sponsors are going to do with us, and even new ones that might be thinking about coming into the fold. What are some of the things, Tana, that somebody new, maybe somebody that's listening to the podcast this week, that says, hey, the time is now. We've been watching what they've been doing for a couple of years now, but the time to strike is now. What are some of the ways that are remaining out there for somebody to get involved? And I know there's a laundry list, but what are some of the ways that come to mind?
Well, of course we have our billboard sponsorships and we have our commercials. But something that is items that I think are the must-haves are being the official sponsor of something, such as one of our divisions. We do have one still open, and that's the New Legends Sportsman, or being an official sponsor of every caution flag. That means every time the caution flag is thrown on an entire event, your business name gets mentioned. Maybe the official sponsor of Victory Lane, see how many times, if people have watched before or want to go back and look at our archives, the sponsor's logo and email address or phone number, whatever you prefer, is seen in every Victory Lane interview, not to mention hearing it over the PA multiple times a night, for every time we're in Victory Lane. The options, and honestly, are endless. And like you said, it's a laundry list. I have a ton of ideas flying through my head of things that we can do. And of course, depending on the sponsor's need, that will, kind of help me direct them in a certain direction as to what I think. And their budget, of course. We get something that'll fit every single budget out there. And no longer, often I have heard when I'm in the 20 some years I've been doing the marketing and of motorsports is, the track's not close enough to me. Advertising with you is not going to really benefit me. No longer the case. That is not even an argument anymore. It is no longer the case. Our reach is endless. It does not matter where you're at. If you're even a local business, people coming into town, they're going to know about you, by advertising. National companies, it's just, like I said, it's endless. The possibilities are huge.
I can speak a little bit to that. My aunt and uncle own Max Dairy Bar that's in Penn Yan, and there are a few ice cream shops in between Land of Legends and Max Dairy Bar. And at first, somebody might have said, man, an ice cream shop in Penn Yan, there's advertising at the racetrack in Canandaigua. How's that work out? And I got to tell you, especially when they opened their food truck this year, I can't tell you how many times people have come to their business and said, we saw your commercial on Land of Legends TV, or we got a free ice cream pass from one of the giveaways you did at the track. It truly does not matter where you're located. The reach, the potential, if you can convert a handful of those customers just on one night of racing, that not only is it going to pay for itself, but you're going to build your business, you're going to build your brand that way.
You just took the words out of my mouth. It will pay for itself, and it'll pay forward. Like, you know what I mean? It's going to come back 10 times over, if not more. One of our sponsors, Mighty Boba, they came on board originally, kind of doing a billboard stuff. And then they said to me the next year, we hear from Pepsi. Pepsi tells us we have to get in and do a division. And we introduced them kind of in the lower scale at the New Legends. And this year they have graduated up to be in the 305 Sprint sponsor. And I can't tell you with no exaggeration, every time I see Trevor, he thanks me for introducing him to dirt track racing. He absolutely loves it. The fan base is wonderful. And the support he's been getting from the fan base is huge.
We need to get a Mighty Boba bubble tea into Victory Lane for the Mighty Boba sprints. We
can do that. That's a great idea.
We need to do this. We really do. And
that is a great idea.
Speaking of marketing ideas that kind of make us laugh a little, I laugh about this on the microphone every time somebody goes off into the grass in turns 3 and 4. We've now named it the golf course. And if you have a golf course and you're looking for a great way to get your name heard and get some exposure, I don't know how we haven't had a golf course reach out to us yet and say, I want my business in turns 3 and 4.
I laugh every time you say that. I just laugh and giggle and perfect. Like you had mentioned, we need to have a hole over there, the flag, the whole 9 yards.
If you will donate us a banner and a flag stick, the marketing potential is out of reach. Like we can make this happen for you. I know there are folks that are golfers out there. Maybe you own the course yourself. We have an opportunity for you. I'll just leave it at that.
Absolutely. Like I said, the opportunities are truly endless, and we can work with just about any budget. And I apologize for the noise because there's a great big tractor trailer driving by me right now.
All good. So what is there any other message that you want to get out there at this time of year? We're in February. I mean, talks are well underway. We've got sponsors that are already signing on to come back, and we've been making those announcements. But is there anything else that you'd like to get out there for anybody that's listening, current sponsors or potential new ones?
Well, I get, you look outside and you think, yeah, I'm not thinking racing. There's snow out there. It's gloomy. It's brown. It's not. Listen, it is around the corner. It is knocking on our door. It truly will be here before we know it. So get on board now before all the great stuff is taken, and also give us time to work with you to properly plan it all. It's better doing it that way than being behind the eight ball. Just give me a call. We can do this.
One item I did want to ask about too, and it seems like the last couple of years they fill up so quick. In terms of our 50-50 beneficiaries, is there any openings there, or is that kind of filling up already?
Well, I'll be honest with you. So I really kind of just started that piece of the puzzle. That's kind of the last thing I do, that and the food trucks. I start, filling those in. I've been reaching out to those who have been involved in the past, seeing about their interest in returning. I'm certainly making a list of new people who are interested. It's hard to say if there's going to be openings. It kind of just depends. There's so many amazing organizations out there who do thankless work in support of, family advocate centers, the child advocate centers, suicide prevention, animal people who help the animals and strays. And it's just shelters. It's endless, the great work that they do. And I wish we could support each and every single one who gets in touch with us. And we certainly do the best to accommodate them.
If you are interested, Tana at landoflegendsraceway.com is how, if you haven't done it before and there is an opening that comes up, send her an email so you can get on that list. And if you've done it before, be on the lookout. You'll be hearing from her soon on that. Tana, I appreciate the time just to kind of check in. I mean, this is a big week for everybody, but for folks like yourself and me who work so closely together on getting the word out about our marketing partners and the reach and the opportunity that's here. I know Christmas has already passed, but I think Christmas came a little early this year.
We think a little bit too much alike, because you just took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say to you, this has been like Christmas and the countdown to Christmas. And, it's 11 days, it's 7 days, it's 5 days. And of course, both of our phones, I am sure, as with Paul's, have been blowing up. Come on, tell me, what is it? What is it? And it's been killing me to keep it quiet, but
I know.
it is huge. When he first mentioned it to me, I was like, oh, yes, we have to do this. This is great. If we can make this work, that is awesome. I had one of the guys from Dirt Car, and up top of Dirt Car, come in the ticket booth the other day, and he goes, so what do you think about this DIRTVision deal? I'm like, absolutely tremendous. This is a win-win for both sides.
Absolutely.
And all of our sponsors, all of our drivers, the track, it's just a win-win.
Yeah. And I'll say this too in closing, for any of our drivers, any teams, anybody out there that's in charge of getting names on the side of your race car, if you have any questions, you need, and I'm not doing this as a shameless plug either, because I have been helping drivers with some marketing videos, but if you have any questions about what to say to those potential sponsors, or you're not sure what you need to point them to kind of close that deal, if you have any questions, anything that we can help with, contact Tana, myself, Paul. Let us know. Let us try to help out. We want our racers to have those race cars full of sponsors on the side, because we know the more sponsors you have, the better equipment you'll have, and the better show you're going to put on for our fans. So if we can do anything to help make that happen, please reach out to us.
Absolutely. I know Paul has fielded some phone calls as of recently. I had a driver just like literally 2 days ago call me, ask me for numbers. I'm happy to share them, happy to give advice. The one thing that I cannot stress enough, and I've been saying this since day one to drivers, expect the no's, but there's going to be yeses too. Reach out to a bunch.
Yeah.
Don't limit it to just a couple. Spread it out there. Get your word out. You're going to hit on the people that think, yeah, you know what? This is cool. Let's do this. This is going to help our business. Get our name out there. It's definitely just go get it. It's out there.
What did they used to say, Tana? Win on Sunday, sell on Monday. Well, with Land of Legends, you win on Saturday, sell on Monday.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Tana, thank you so much. And, this has really been an exciting time. I appreciate you taking some time here while you're enjoying the sun down in Florida. And, like you said, racing season will be here before we know it.
It sure will. And in 4 weeks, I'll be jealous of you because you'll be down here and I'll be back in the cold.
There we go. All right. Well, thank you so much
All
again.
right, Stephen. Thanks.
All right. There's our double A main interview of the week. Tana Robinson joining us again. If you want to have any questions, you want to reach out to her about what opportunities are out there, Tana at landoflegendsraceway.com is how you do it.
Land of Legends Raceway fans, tune in each and every week of the racing season to Where Legends Are Made, a podcast dedicated to covering the drama, excitement, and hear from the drivers from your favorite dirt track. Stephen Ovens and Brad Ovens walk you through the week that was Where Legends Are Made. Subscribe on Apple or Google Podcasts and visit landoflegendspodcast.com.
Fans of Land of Legends Raceway and the Where Legends Are Made podcast, we've got a great opportunity for you to feature your business. We have opportunities here to sponsor Where Legends Are Made. We have all different features of the podcast. You can pick to be a sponsor of one of our heat races. Maybe you want your business name attached to the top 10 read-offs for the week. Maybe you want your business to be the one that's heard when we play our highlight of the week. Maybe you're a history buff. You want to sponsor Heat 3, where we talk about this week in Land of Legends Raceway history. Maybe you want to be the A main sponsor. So when we interview our main driver of the week, you want to get your business out in front of that. We've got plenty of opportunities for you to do so, and we can work inside of any budget. And believe me, if you're listening to this and you're saying, oh, I don't think my business has the advertising budget to sponsor a podcast, believe me, we can fit inside of anybody's advertising budget. Get your business a little bit of advertising here on Where Legends Are Made. Contact us right here on the Land of Legends Raceway Facebook page if you're interested, and put your business in front of all of our fans where legends are made.